You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
"Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music."
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
"Hey, Meta, call Eva."
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, "Hey, Meta," to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Take a deep dive into the stories making the news headlines across the world.
The News Agents.
We're not just here to tell you what's happening, but why. From me, Emily Maitlis.
And me, John Sopel.
With Global's award-winning podcast, The News Agents, dropping daily, covering everything you need to know about politics and current affairs.
And The News Agents USA.
Listening to The News Agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The News Agents to start listening.
Join the Power Trip's Zach Halverson for a World Juniors watch party. Drop in at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub Saturday, January 4th at 2:30 to catch the third-place game with Halvey. We'll have free appetizers during the first period, drink specials, and a ton of prizes, including tickets to next year's World Juniors and a signed Lou Nanny jersey. Full details, KFAN.com keyword calendar.
Sauce is here for a couple of more segments. Todd Tuesday on a Monday. Guardian for Barreiro. Ben Lieber about 40 minutes from now. Johnny Athletic at 5:30 to talk Wolves. Oh boy, they're back in action tonight against Atlanta. On the road a little bit this week after a very forgetful last couple of games of the homestand. The Karl Anthony Towns return, and then the game against the Warriors, which was a complete disaster. We talked a little bit about that with Sauce. So the Vikings, Sauce, control their own destiny. They can win the next two games and be the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs, which sounds insane to think about, but it's a realistic conversation. Do you give them a realistic chance to sweep both the Green Bay Packers here and the now flexed game 325, and then the Detroit Lions, who ran an unbelievable trick play yesterday against the Bears in routing Chicago?
I mean, anything would have worked on the Bears. The old "Hey Bob" play may have worked on the Bears. It's a great question. I think they moved the game to 325 because that's when my mother-in-law gets in town.
Is that right?
She's a huge Packer fan. The fan has learned.
Yep.
But I don't know. But like, I've doubted this team before. I said in August, I bet hockey like $200 they win one game out of the first five. They won all five. This is just every time they surprise me. Inside at US Bank Stadium, I think they're currently 1.5 point favorite. This is before the Packers play their JV game tonight against a 15-point favorite Saints team.
Wow.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
At home, of course. Then they finish
Do
the
they even
season.
play road games outside the division?
I don't think so. Then they finish at home against the Bears, who have more quit in them than I do. But I don't know. The last time we saw the Packers play, man, they ran right at the Seahawks and ran right through them. The Packers are a tough squad, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that game. I'm more worried about the Lions, but this team has surprised me every year.
Right.
I thought they'd be destroyed by the Texans, and they beat them 30-7 or whatever that was. I thought they'd lose to Brock Purdy and the Niners at home. They beat that team up. They had a huge lead on the Pack until they let the Pack come back into that game, right? I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I didn't think we'd win on Sunday against the Seahawks, and they went out there.
See, I felt good about it. I just feel good about this team. I just feel like they're going to find. Obviously, are they going to win every game? Probably not. They've had 5 bad days.
They got to get that out of the way soon, though.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, like people are just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Brett knows this because he always fills in with me. I never wait for the other shoe to drop anymore because
enjoy the season.
Enjoy the season. You just miss out on so much. Like if I'm really worried about is this team going to win the Super Bowl? Like yesterday was unbelievable. Like to watch Darnold climb the pocket like he did after getting his face mask ripped off, his sock is torn, his ankle hurts, his finger hurts. Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. He can't even. The headset goes out, so he's got to call his own play. Then he runs over to KOC like he's on Coleman Field by your house at Edina on a Friday night because the coach can't do the signal, and he's just like it's just so fun. Like my wife even asked me because we got home just in time for the fourth quarter, and they went down and then they scored the touchdown, and you're down by 4. My wife's like, "Can they pull this off?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Will they?" I have no idea, but I have #faith that they're going to figure something out. Now, if they don't get the face mask, might be a completely different conversation. Because,
which it was, though.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The dude that somehow doesn't think he grabbed the face mask and was still mad about it in the post-game press conference. Like, someone's got to get that guy a Surface tablet.
He's a rookie, man.
He is. And it's emotional, and it's a cooling off period. And I'm sure he's mad because he basically cost his team the game. But I just have a lot of resolve that they're going to figure out a way to get it done. Even when they were playing, because you watch every week, teams are getting picked off every single week. Like that stretch they had on the road where they struggled against Tennessee. It was a hideous game against Jacksonville.
That's the last bad game he's had.
Yeah, but everyone's saying, "Oh God, they were terrible." It's like, do you watch other games like besides NFL Red Zone? Like, there's a lot of crap football that's being played by good teams, by the way, and they don't find a way.
The Bills played horribly
to figure it
yesterday.
out. Sure, of course. And obviously, Hurts getting injured yesterday hurts the Eagles, right, after the first quarter. Like, he goes out. But, like, teams have been getting picked off the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, and the Vikings just figure it out. So I just have this, like, it's not going to be because they aren't prepared, aren't playing well, whatever. It's because someone's going to have to beat them. Like, I don't feel, unless Aaron Jones fumbles 3 times, I do worry about that. But I just have, like, a calm confidence that they'll figure it out down the stretch here. And maybe win on Sunday, maybe win in Detroit. I don't know, but it's an odd feeling.
And it's an odd feeling, but it's also, we need an opportunity where, and PA brought this up this morning, and I didn't think of this. If the playoffs started, let me make sure I'm correct. If the playoffs started today, no. Never mind. It wouldn't be the way it is. But, like, there is an opportunity where Brett's Packers go to Philly. That would be sweet. Because they could be.
That'd be great. I'd like to send Brett into Lincoln Financial Field and make him wear that Packers sweatshirt and hat.
Be good for you.
I think that's the one place in the world I would not wear.
Hockey doesn't want to go back there. And he's been there with security and everything.
I was with them for the title game. And they sent us through the wrong parking lot. Ugh. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was, and he's got the window rolled down for an Instagram video. I'm like, dude, roll your window up.
Yeah, you're going to get poop thrown at you. Your dad would be pumped, but you're not going to like it.
Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. But yeah, I would say, because Brett didn't wear that until last December at this time, right? There was like 6 weeks where you didn't even acknowledge.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Oh yeah, they aired the last A-Rod year.
Terrible.
Yeah, when they went on like the run and Tua got concussed and still played and threw like 3 picks that just gifted the Packers a win.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's stunning that the doctor that watches everybody for possible concussions just missed Tua, and then he threw 2 picks and allowed the Packers.
Wasn't that Christmas Eve?
No, it was before that. But dude doesn't even acknowledge he's a Packer fan for like 2 months. He's down on the squad. He's bummed. They win that game. He shows up next day, right? Because we were probably doing Go for Football Sunday or something.
Yeah, I had to dust it off.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's basically wearing a cheese head on his head. Like, it's just complete fraudulence.
Yeah, they're good though, but I would love them to go to the Eagles because no matter who wins, it'd be a great outcome for Vikings fans. But this team can win on the road. I know you just mentioned those 3 games, Tennessee, Jacksonville, and the other one, whoever it was. That's 3 straight road wins. I know those teams are going to pick in the top 5 in the draft, but still, winning on the road is tough. It's very tough, and they can do it. I'm now that you said it, and I've had 5 seconds to think about it, I don't care where they go because they can win. We're really scared if they go down to Atlanta and play a rookie quarterback in the playoffs inside. No chance. You many Vikings fans would be? I'm not afraid of that. The only one I would be freaked out about is going to the Rams. I think the Rams
are playing.
The Rams are good.
They're not messing around.
And but other than that, They beat up on Tampa. They could corral the kid in Washington. I think they're fine. But just going to Philly and going to the Rams would be tough.
Fun conversations to be having on December 23rd, year of our Lord 2024.
Yeah, last year we were hoping they would lose to get a better draft pick.
We had no illusions that any of this was going to be happening. One more segment with Sauce. We'll get back into some Wolves discussion, as well as see if he's ready for the game changer, the life changer, the birth of his son coming up, we think, this week. Only time will tell. Davey, is he ready? We'll ask.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Classic style, innovative tech. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee, desperately. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
To make a latte, brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you start walking to work, and you need a soundtrack.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
With the built-in camera, you snap a pic of a dope mural on the side of a building that you think is worth sharing.
Hey, Meta, text my last photo to Eva.
Sending message.
After work, you head to meet some friends.
Hey, nice glasses.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Listen to music, make hands-free calls with open-ear audio and built-in microphones, and so much more. All while staying present to the world around you. Shop Ray-Ban Meta glasses at meta.com/smartglasses.
Join Bumper to Bumpers, Justin Gard, the guy you're listening to right now, this Friday at 7 at Tom's Watch Bar for a KFAN Wolves watch party. We'll have Timberwolves Rockets live on the big screens, delicious food and drinks, your chance to secure exclusive KFAN swag. All the details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
All right, Sauce, we ready to go?
Yeah, we're all set. Everything's all set. We have multiple changing stations in case something happens in the basement. Yeah, we're all set. We got both soon-to-be grandparents coming over this weekend. They will hang out for a while just so we get the hang of it. Yeah, it's weird because, like, I've never been more excited in my life for something. But it's weird because, and I know you have 3 children, it's weird because you can't see it. You know what I mean? Like, still, there's part of me that's like, is this really happening on Friday?
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting downstairs in the basement yesterday watching football, and I was like, in a week, I could be watching the Vikings game and holding my son. Yeah. And I was like, that'll be the greatest day ever. But it's like,
unless they lose to the Packers.
My mother-in-law there'll be no nap time for the new baby if my mother-in-law's there, because she is a diehard Packer fan and she will be way into it, which makes her great, which is the many reasons that I love her, because she's an A+ sports fan.
Yeah.
She's an A+ sports fan, and she's made my wife an A+ sports fan, which is the cherry on the top of how great both those women are in my life. But like, I just, I'm ready, but I don't know if you're ever ready.
No. Of course not.
We went to a parenting class. Like, I learned how to change a diaper and how you got to, like, fold it down so, like, it keeps everything in. You got to keep it tight around the legs. So, like, because there's nuclear moments where it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Really excited.
I don't want to ruin anybody's livelihood, but those parenting classes.
Yeah.
What a racket.
I mean,
and we took them. We did all of them. And we did the one that is baby CPR.
Did you take it in? Is it the one in Edina?
Off
Highway 100?
Yes, I think so. It was the same company. It was kind of all around the metro because we popped around to a couple of them when they had availability for us, because they're all packed, right? And they're all full. That's a racket. I think we should actually start a Fan Dad's version of that and just go to, like, breweries and give dads specifically
a great bit.
What you really need to know, like managing, being a father, managing the grandparent part of it, managing the changes that your wife is going through, managing all of these things. Yeah. Because that's where there's no class for that. Yeah. Amma does not have that class.
No, and Amma's where we went.
Yeah, of course. Everybody does. Yeah, and the moms groups, I'm sure she's locked in on that for later, and you're going to have pictures of all the babies, and then you're going to say you're going to stay in touch, and then you won't see them 6 months later.
Yeah.
Like, There needs to be, I think, an actual like Fan Dad's version of that maybe you and I could, dark star it and talk about it and talk about later. But it's you don't know what's going on until the baby actually shows up, and then you just wing it, and then you see you fall back on your training, whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's going to be great.
How much unsolicited advice have you gotten in the last 9 months?
I've gotten a lot of really good advice. I've gotten a lot where I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Did you raise Charles Manson? Why would you give me that advice? Some of the best advice I've gotten from the two guys that I work with. Corey has given me wonderful advice. He gave me some like outstanding advice this morning that I'll keep between the two of us. And
okay.
I'm like, it's like
I want to hear it after because I'm still trying to learn.
It's like when you're like, oh wow. It's like the Grinch. You're like, you do have a heart. It was very nice advice. And hockey's given me some really good advice. But there's been some of it where I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
That's not a thing. But like, you just go with the flow. Every kid's different. Patrick from 7th Avenue Pizza gave me that advice, and that's true. Every kid's different. Just raise them how you want to raise them, and just go from there. So I've gotten some advice from like, that's what? Like, I'll tell you off the air about the thing when you have a boy, and I was like, I'm not, what? Like, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I have to do that? Like, I didn't know that. And keeping that all together in one part, and I'm like,
there's some Vaseline involved.
Yeah, that part. Yeah. And I was like,
just make it like an ice cream cone.
Yeah, somebody told me that.
They teach you that in the hospital.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so like all these like dad parts, I can't wait. My wife's going to do a wonderful job.
For sure.
It's going to be excellent when we finally, like everybody's like that moment where you're like, okay, you can go now. And you're like, no, I don't want to go.
No.
You're here. Like, you help.
Yep.
But like, I cannot wait. And I know it's an Instagram bit, and I practice it at home with the baby, the baby, what's the word? What can't I think of it? The car seat. I practice it with the car seat. The hot dad walk where you walk out the hospital with him. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to put him in that car seat. I mean, we're about a half a mile from the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's not that far, but I just can't wait for that. I can't wait to look in the rearview mirror and see my wife and him sitting back there. It'll be excellent.
Yeah, that's the only advice I'll give you is the hospital stay. I'm like Billy Madison
stay
to the
there.
kid. Stay here.
Yeah.
Stay as long as you can. You got to cherish it. And you're not going to want to let them do it because our kids were all born at the same hospital where your son's going to be born. They're unbelievable. And it's going to feel weird when they go, do you want us to take him to the nursery so you guys can sleep? You're going to say no.
Yeah.
You're going to say, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Let them do it.
Really?
Yes. So you can sleep at least one of the nights. Now, fairness and savagery, I don't think we did that until our third kid.
Yeah.
Like, first kid's like, no, we're good. We'll keep him here. Like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They do it every day. It's a Friday to them. It's the biggest day of your life. It's the Friday for
right.
But finally but I remember my wife's second time wanted to leave the hospital like immediately. I'm like, no. Stay here.
Right.
They're going to help us. Insurance covers it, believe it or not. If you're on our insurance.
Yeah. Right.
It covers it.
Right.
Like, stay as long as they tell us it's covered because they're the professionals and let them handle everything. And it's just nice to have that support because I remember the drive back home, same thing. Our white Nissan Rogue where you got the car seat and you put them in there and you're like, oh, this is real now.
Yeah, it's
like,
real.
Our nurse is gone. Jamie, our nurse, who was wonderful. We had her for, I think, all three kids. Said, oh, Jamie's not here. So this is us. So we taking back roads back to Minnetonka because I'm not going on the highway. Yeah. I'm not doing this.
It's one frontage road to my house.
Yeah, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah, if it was summer, you could just walk.
Yeah, we could walk.
Yeah, it'd be a nice walk. Stop at Snuffy's on the way home.
Yeah.
Just spin around and go to Snuffy's. It'd be great. But that's my advice is stay in the hospital as long as they let you.
Let me ask you a dad question.
Sure.
How uncomfortable is that chair you have to sleep in?
I mean, for me, it's not that bad. I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. It wasn't too bad.
All right.
Because you're just kind of on adrenaline anyway.
Yeah.
You're just kind of on adrenaline. So it's really not that bad. I liked it. It was fine. I think you can. I've slept in less comfortable situations.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same age. Oh, funny. My chair just broke. I got the profile chair.
I just always say that's the Tommy Olsen chair.
Yeah, I call it the Profile by Sanford chair.
Brilliant. Genius reference.
Well, we're all very excited for you. We're all very happy for you. And as you know, we're all very curious to see how this whole thing goes.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to your Twitter posts, your rants when you come in. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
We're looking forward to how you handle this whole thing because we've all done it, as you know, most of us. And I vaguely remember the newborn days. The best time, truthfully, is when they are like a week old, like you just said. I'm going to be watching football with my son, and all they do is sleep for like a month, and you just sit there and you watch whatever you want to watch, and you hold them and you feed them. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I'm excited to join that club.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah.
We're very much looking forward to how it goes.
Yeah. Now, this is where we would need Dark Star to sell a Fan Dad's bit because it'd be sold already, and we'd be doing shows at JD Hoyt's.
Yes, we would. We'd be doing shows at Hoyt's. Best of luck this week. Thanks for coming in, as always. Hopefully this continues when you are a dad, and I need you for a Todd Tuesday on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, I got to pick up the kid at daycare. I can't do it this time. But it's been a good ride to have you so available to come in and do Todd Tuesdays all these years.
Yeah,
so
you're
thank
the best. Merry Christmas, man. Love you, brother.
You too. He is Meat Sauce Paul Lambert. When we come back, we are going to get back into some Vikings discussion and a little bit of Wolves discussion as well before Ben Lieber makes his weekly appearance. Let's see if he's moved off of his Sam Darnold position from a week ago. He is firmly on Team JJ and follow the plan. Did yesterday's performance move the needle at all for Nacho Lieber? We'll ask him that about 15 minutes from now.
Time now for the Vikings Report on The Fan, presented by Miller Lite. Viking safety Cam Bynum joins Barreiro next after this from Miller Lite.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Classic style, innovative tech. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee, desperately. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
To make a latte, brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you start walking to work, and you need a soundtrack.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
With the built-in camera, you snap a pic of a dope mural on the side of a building that you think is worth sharing.
Hey, Meta, text my last photo to Eva.
Sending message.
After work, you head to meet some friends.
Hey, nice glasses.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Listen to music, make hands-free calls with open-ear audio and built-in microphones, and so much more. All while staying present to the world around you. Shop Ray-Ban Meta glasses at meta.com/smartglasses.
If you want to chime in on what's happening to your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Just let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Standard text message and data rates apply.
Ben Lieber about 10 minutes from now for his usual weekly Vikings coverage. Vikings win again yesterday. We're going to spend a couple of minutes talking Wolves here. Guardsy in for Barreiro. Johnny Athletic joins at 5:30. Can't wait to talk to Lieber about the Darnold thing. I'm fascinated to see if he's moved off his position at all after another great performance from Sam, another fourth quarter comeback from Sam, and an incredible last drive and certainly last throw to Justin Jefferson. We did talk a little bit of Wolves early with Sauce, and I want to spend just a couple of minutes that we have here to get back into it because it pains me to say this. It really does. You know, I'm Wolves super fan. I'm A1 from day one. Timberwolves Breakfast Club 1989, waiting in line to get a picture with Bill Musselman.
Wolves After Dark, note taker, statistician.
Running stats over to Dave Sinekin at GameWorks. Rest in peace. It's now Mayo Clinic Square. Been around. Obviously grew up in the KG era, but have been with this team forever. And so the last few years have been awesome, right? As Target Center has been reignited, the team has been a playoff factor for the last 3-4 seasons. Obviously last year to the Western Conference Finals. It was awesome. I understood. I still understand why they made the Karl Anthony Towns trade, even though I have to explain to my 10-year-old every single time they lose why they did it.
What's the second apron?
I have to explain to a 10-year-old what the second apron is and why it's prohibitive and why you had to do something because financially it just wasn't going to be workable because of the rules that, of course, changed after the Timberwolves decided to build their team a certain way because that's just how things go in Minnesota. But this roster is just not workable anymore. And it's funny that I even saw Bill Simmons tweet about this over the weekend as one of the big champions of Towns and Gobert isn't going to work. Like, this thing is just not going to work. They have to do something. Now saying, well, they did something, but this isn't workable either. And I wish they would have just run it back for one more year and tried to figure some things out on the fly. It's what they looked like they were intending to do until the Knicks threw Dante DiVincenzo in the deal and they made the move. But this roster is not workable. Finch, if you watch during the games, is absolutely miserable. When you watch the games as a fan, even when things are going well, it feels like they're always about 2 possessions away from a meltdown that becomes just dejecting to the team, to the bench, to the crowd, to everybody. And the vast majority of the negativity, as much as I hate to say it, comes down to Julius Randle. Because he's the ultimate tease. I think through the first couple months, we can say it consistently because there are moments where he's unstoppable offensively. There are moments when he's effective defensively, but they don't last long enough. They might last a quarter. They might last a game, but you can't put it in the box score every night on what he's going to bring you on any given night. And defensively, it is mostly bad. And for a team that is still with Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards when he wants to, going to be built on defense first, you can't have a guy that's unreliable for how they want to build things defensively. And you can find it. People are making videos. They're making compilations, and they're throwing them out there of the transition baskets where he's nowhere near where he's supposed to be. I mean, the final 5-6 minutes of the Warriors game, I talked to Sauce about it. Steph went off, and the easy narrative is that's Steph Curry. He's going to find a way. He's a killer. He'll put you to sleep. He'll do the celebration. That probably was the easiest finishing stretch of Steph Curry's career, if you go back and watch it. And he's had a million of those. Obviously, he's Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats. Wolves could have drafted him twice. I don't know if that's ever been mentioned before. But the Warriors, because they're smart, just said, if you're going to have Randle out there, we're going to make him make decisions. We're going to put him in actions. And the Wolves were toast. It was like Steph was shooting in an empty gym. And the lack of defensive awareness and fortitude is draining the team. You can absolutely see it. You can see it on Edwards' face. You can see it on Rudy's face. I mentioned you can see it on Finch's. They know it. They all know it. And I think they like Julius, and they want to pull for Julius. And Ant has tried in different ways to prod Julius and bring him along in his usual Ant way. But it's just not working. So right now, the trade looks disastrous. There's no other word for it. The trade looks disastrous. And we all understand that the idea of the trade was to make sure that the Wolves could elongate the number of years of this competitive window for Anthony Edwards. We all understand that. And as long as you were in the second apron with Towns, you were going to have the hard time making other moves to fortify, improve the roster, do all of those things. It's one of the reasons why Conley was so aggressive in the draft, to trade up for Dillingham and to also take Terrence Shannon Jr. They wanted more first-round picks because, like J.J. McCarthy, they're younger, they're inexpensive. You can keep them around. You can still draft. If you're in the second apron, you can't really trade. You can't really sign as much, but you can still draft. And the problem with trying to elongate the window is that you've completely obliterated a year in Anthony Edwards' career where they are nowhere near a title contender. They're just not. They're a fringe playoff team, I think, at best, but they are not a title contender. And with Towns, they were a year ago. With Towns, they would have been this season. And they're not close to that with Randle, and it's just not workable. So what do? I've got ideas on that, and we'll get to that at 5:15. We'll get to that with Johnny Athletic. But I've come to the point where we've seen enough now. We've seen enough games. We've seen enough reaction. We've seen enough things where it's just not workable. So we'll get to that probably around 5:15, 5:30. But when we come back, Ben Lieber makes his weekly appearance, thanks to Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
Hey, Meta, call Eva.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
Take a deep dive into the stories making the news headlines across the world.
The news agents.
We're not just here to tell you what's happening, but why. From me, Emily Maitlis.
And me, John Sopel.
With Global's award-winning podcast, The News Agents, dropping daily, covering everything you need to know about politics and current affairs.
And The News Agents USA.
Listening to The News Agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The News Agents to start listening.